Thank you. Is that it?
Yes. So
Okay.
now we'll proceed on to the back check.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't get your name.
Sharon.
Sharon. Hi, I'm Nishan. Hi, my name is Nishan. I just joined the HR Directorate a month ago. Getting the call, getting the offer was great. But I think on one hand I was excited, on the other hand I was a bit nervous because you also hear a lot of things about a role in MFA, how it's very challenging.
I really don't know where I am, but yeah, it seems nice, it seems cool. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than I expected actually, because all our interviews were in the other building, like the NX building. So seeing this side is pretty cool.
Do you think you'll get lost?
Yes, 100%.
I think when I came into the building on the first day already, I felt like the place was intense. Like you could feel that the work that they did is important because everyone was serious and you could sense that what they do here matters, and that's good. You want to be part of something that matters at the end of the day. Yeah.
You see the lines? Under the light, it will look nice because you see all the shadow, you see all the lines. It really doesn't look nice.
So I think this is an older flag, so we got a new flag to go and iron and then we replace this. It's right-handed, right?
Yes, he's right-handed. Okay, confirmed.
My name is Lakshmi and I manage high-level state and official visits. So the day before the visit is when we kind of do the final preparations. That's when we start doing all the setup for the rooms, the landscaping, checking on the details, making sure that everything is ready for the guests to arrive. Like the day before is usually the peak level of stress where you're making sure that everything is ready, you're walking through like multiple times, making sure that every single room has the setup that we want. Protocol's work is really about managing the logistical aspects of a visit from start to end.
One thing that we had to do for the outdoor welcome ceremony was to construct a stage to be attached to the old Tom steps. So this is specially constructed to fit the steps down to the queue posts, which are cut to a precise height. During the program itself, we'll be only using it for the arrival. At departure point, the stage will be moved.
Is it possible to move something so fast?
We will have to just make it happen.
It's challenging because there's a lot of different details that's involved in a visit. That sometimes, I think, to a person outside of protocol, you may not notice. But over time, you have to build the experience to be able to spot these small issues to make sure that they are done.
There's the old City Hall, right? I think when we left. Yeah, I think Mr. Rajaratnam is still there. You have the Mr. Peter Chan, you have Mr. Dhanavalan and others. My name is Banu Gopala Menon. I'm the Singapore High Commissioner to Malaysia. I've always been interested in, the political affairs of the world, global affairs. So I thought MFA would be a great place to try my hand. I didn't expect to stay 40 years. I remember City Hall very vividly. We only had 2 floors. You walk in, everybody was literally on 1 floor, with the exception of the ministers and the permanent secretaries who were 1 floor above us. So you find that everybody knew everybody, literally. Not just the officers knowing the officers, but you knowing down to the security guards, person making the coffee, clerical staff, the stenographers, the typists. Many of them, their backgrounds were as teachers. Quite a number of them actually. Teachers and civil servants in other parts were pulled in to form the Foreign Service. But despite the fact that they were not trained to be diplomats, they actually turned out to be excellent officers. They did their part.
Any cases to hand over? My name is Shazni. I'm at the Consular Response Centre. So we are the first line that Singaporeans can reach out to if they need assistance while overseas. A bulk of my cases are people with missing passports, if they get their stuff stolen, if they are arrested, or maybe even a death of a relative overseas. We have all these screens because we want to be ahead of crisis. Our job here is to monitor for breaking news. So if there's any incidents or disasters that happen, we can stay on top of it. Hi, MFA Editor Office, Shazni here. How can I help? When people call into us, right, they think we have unlimited authority overseas. They think that we can do anything. But the reality is we have to work within diplomatic channels and international law. By being transparent about what we can and cannot do, actually helps to build trust. At the same time, we show genuine concern and commitment to help. Being a first responder, right, can be stressed because if I seem overwhelmed, they might panic. So if I sound uncertain, things might spiral. Sorry, let me just clarify. You lost your child where again? Beijing?
I'm Jia Yi, and I work in the Singapore Embassy in Beijing. Got a call from my colleague telling me that there was a Singaporean boy who had gone missing in Beijing, in Wangfujing, and the parents had called us for help. And if you know, Wangfujing is actually in downtown Beijing, very touristy area, a lot of people. By the time we were informed, it had already been more than 3 hours since he had gone missing. There were several alarm bells that was ringing in my head. They are non-Chinese, they don't speak the language. This is a young boy with special needs, and it's non-verbal. He had never been alone before, and this was his first time in Beijing, and nobody knows where he is. As you can see from here, the mall is huge. So when we didn't manage to find him in the supermarket, we decided to expand our search to the rest of the mall. As we were looking for him, we were asking about his favorite shops. And as they were telling me all these stories, I thought of my son. If the same thing would happen to my son, it would be devastating to me.
Hi, Coco.
How are you? You put on weight. I think you put on weight, right?
Huh? I put on weight? No.
Your face look very round, eh?
My name is Min Hui. I'm doing my first posting in India, New Delhi. The importance of an MFA officer posted overseas is that we are essentially like their eyes, their ears, their hands and the legs. So we are physically here so that we can look after the embassy, we can look after overseas Singaporeans who are here. This being my first overseas posting, lots of things going on in my mind back then. Whether I am able to live by myself, because for the past 27 years I've been living at home with my family. I've not actually ventured out alone for an extended period of time overseas. When I come home to an empty house, back home, there's my sibling, there's my parent there. Yeah, so coming home to an empty apartment is definitely not a nice feeling. Yeah, so the loneliness or homesickness. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So sorry.
No, it's okay. It's hard. It's really very hard.
I think for me, your mental capacity has to be strong. And by that, I mean your endurance, your resilience. Many times, what you receive like feedbacks or views of this country may not be all that it is. You need to look beyond the stereotypes to see actually what the country has to offer, or even go beyond that.
Yes.
Larissa.
Yes.
Hi Hi, I'm Clarissa. I actually run courses for the Singapore Cooperation Program. Most of them know me by name but not by my face. So once they actually meet me in person and they self-introduce themselves, like, oh hi, I'm so and so, and I'm like, oh hi, I'm Clarissa. Then they're like, oh, you're Clarissa. And I think it just re-establishes the connection that we had over email. So once they put a name to a face and they realize that, oh, it's me. Hi, morning. How long was the flight?
16 hours.
Oh wow. The fact that people would travel for like 20-30 hours just to come for a 1 week course is actually quite amazing. Just to learn how like our small tiny island is able to build its country to what it is today. It gives me a sense of like pride, just being in a place where I get to curate these courses for them, just to share knowledge. A lot of the delegates who are coming are usually in their late 40s to like their early 60s. And so being someone in her 20s, it's actually quite scary to have to talk to these people because they probably have more experience than me in the workforce. So sometimes having to relate to them or trying to relate to them can be a bit stressful. Can you try to call again? Then you just let him know he needs to make his own way to the train agency.
Can I check if Mr. Deshant is here?
So on the first day, I arrived at the hotel about 7:45 and we realized that there were about 2 or 3 participants who were not down yet. So we actually had to text in a WhatsApp group like, hey, are you coming down soon? The bus is going to leave in about 5 minutes. Cancellation of visa or cancellation of accommodation, it's quite straightforward. It's part of our SOP. It's something that we expect once in a while. But I think more importantly from our end is also to ensure that these people are safe. They are not stuck in another country or stranded somewhere and they have no return flight.
There's so much happening here. So not just with the city itself, but also we work at the UN. Constantly many things going on. So this is the flag hall. We have all the flags of the 193 UN member states here. Yeah, so this is ours. Hi, I'm Noelle. I work at the Singapore mission to the UN. Everybody who is in this line of work, they know that connections are your currency. Some people who don't love the social aspect of this job may find it trying, I suppose. You literally just like cold call people sometimes. Or like I would have maybe certain objectives in getting to know people from specific delegations I thought might be useful to like build connections with. Morning, Excellency. Morning. Most people socially have a fear of rejection, right? What makes people nervous is like afraid that other people will think poorly of them or afraid that the counterpart will not be impressed. I'm no longer nervous when I meet new people. So this is the General Assembly Hall. It's where decisions are made by all the member states of the UN. Sometimes voting happens. It's where resolutions are adopted, where decisions are endorsed. This is Singapore's seat. If I'm covering something, I'm seated here, right? I usually like paying attention to whatever the president is saying. When the action on the resolution is called, if it's a vote, this small little electronic screen will change to show like yes, no, and abstain in front of the buttons. The black screens will show you what each country voted. And then you'll see like the number of votes in favor, number of votes against, a number of delegations that abstain. So at the General Assembly, it's one country, one vote. The big countries don't matter more than the small countries. Every country is sort of equal in that sense. For countries like Singapore, it's where we show that even a small voice like ours can shape big conversations.
This is actually my first time note-taking in all the time that I've been here. But yeah, it's new, but I think I'll figure it out. I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but then again, I've heard that it's always more difficult than we think. I'm just afraid of missing out details that might be important to the document at the end of the day.
Does it stress you that the first event that you're doing is like someone with as high of a profile?
It did kind of, it was a bit daunting to know that the first event that you're doing is with someone, someone as high profile as Ambassador Cole. Because I mean, you don't want to screw it up. But after I met him yesterday, it felt a lot more chill. Yeah, he's really nice. He's very friendly.
Is the UN and multilateralism still valid, or are we heading to a different kind of world where might makes right? One way they're pushing back is to foster an alternative source of power.
I think the last time I used a pen and paper, probably in JC. I realized in taking down stuff verbatim, it's very challenging, honestly. Because when you listen to something and you try taking it down, a whole other discussion has already finished before you finish writing that first portion. I also thought I could just record it, and then if I missed out on certain stuff, I could just fill the gaps in later. But apparently no recordings allowed. After a point, I stopped writing full sentences, and then I think my handwriting worsened. So I need to go and see if I can even understand what I wrote. In other sessions where, for example, you are taking notes of a discussion between our minister and a foreign minister, you would have to take down a lot of other details as well, such as body language and things like that, because beyond just the content that is exchanged, the body language would signal certain things that you will need to then reproduce in a report. At the end of the day, the report that you generate is the only report the rest of the team works on.
Do you think you'll be able to handle such a task?
I mean, today's one was already not so high stake, and I feel like I missed out on so many things. But with practice, maybe. And it's a lot of pressure as well, because nobody's going to pause for you to like, oh, have you finished taking your notes? Nobody's pausing. So the conversation keeps going. If you miss out on certain things while you're writing, then it's done, it's over. It's not recorded, bye-bye. The information's gone.
कल हम कपड़े खरीदने
Now it is correct.
वह लड़का को किताब चाहिए. But I don't know whether this one needs to change.
Do we need to change?
I don't know. Wow, easy to difficult. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most difficult, I want to rate it 10. Yeah. The first few weeks was definitely a big struggle because I did not understand any basic Hindi at all. So I had to start from scratch, meaning the alphabets, the grammar structures. I had to learn new vocabularies. But 90% of the time, I just tried to use Hindi words so that, the teacher can see that I'm trying. And yeah, I think she's been very patient because I spent so much time with my Hindi teacher. So actually, she became my listening ear. She became like my older sister, and to some sense, my mom. She's the one person that I see the most during these 16 weeks. I spend the most time with her. So that gave me some sense of assurance that I'm not, doing this by myself. With finals just being 3 days away and with limited time, I was really scared because I really needed to focus on the areas where I was weak in. I'm still making broken sentences, and I'm still substituting some Hindi words with English words, because I've not mastered the vocabulary for certain words in Hindi. संतरे देते और उनसे लाल पैकेट्स लेते हैं. Taking the Hindi final exams today, so feeling a bit nervous and cramping in some last minute revision. I take it one day at a time. I try not to put too much pressure on myself. Fingers crossed, I'm confident that I will be able to pass. Maybe not with flying colors, but average.
Where are you going now?
We are going down to check if there's towels because the welcome ceremony is outdoors. So when they come in, they'll be like a bit sweaty and stuff. So it's to offer to the leaders when they're walking back in. Hi Selby, this is Lakshmi from Protocol. Do we have wet towels? It's not something that is very crucial. This is always important to make sure that we have to provide the right level of hospitality to the foreign guests so that they feel welcome in Singapore. They feel that Singapore values the relationship, and that kind of brings it forward, even in little things. Yeah. The stairs has cracked. Just now something came off, but the one is clear already lah. I just cracked lah, but I think it's okay. We will fix it. Things will be okay. I think on the day itself, there was a crack on the step. And it's very close to where the leaders will be going up onto the dais. At that point, it's not like you can change the staircase. It just so happened that it was nice enough that we could just cover it with more plants. And that worked out enough. I think with every visit, right, no matter how perfect you try to make things right, there will always be small aspects that kind of go wrong.
The time was okay, eh? Yeah, we shouldn't do this. It's so tight. It was very noisy. Only in one place now.
So there was the dais right in the middle of the stairs, and when the leaders leave MFA, we also don't want them to have to leave through the side of the stairs because it's less grand to leave from the side of the building. So we had this 30-minute window to quickly work out to bring the dais as well as all the landscaping around the dais somewhere that is not visible so that they can leave from the center. In the end, what we do is what brings the visit forward and creates the whole environment. If we are not around to ensure the official elements taking place, these kind of small aspects still make a difference in the mood of the overall visit. And if you don't have that mood, then it's very hard to push your bilateral interests.
I got a call from one of the police officers involved in the search. They got CCTV footage of him leaving the mall 3 hours ago. He should be quite a distance away. When I got the update, actually I was very disappointed. It felt like we had searched for 1 hour in vain. But at the same time, it is also my professional responsibility to convey the news to them. They really harbored high hopes that they would find him at the mall. So they called the grandfather and grandmother down to the mall as well. When I had to break the news to them, it was the entire extended family looking at me. And I think during times like this, being told to wait is really the most unbearable feeling. The family was very disappointed. They were very worried, and you could tell, but they didn't take their anger and frustration out on either me or the police. As the night became colder, I'm not sure whether he has food to eat. I'm not sure whether the jacket that he has on him is enough to keep him warm in this kind of weather. It had been 8 plus almost 9 hours since he had gone missing. In 8 to 9 hours, he could have gone very far and many things could have happened.
As you can see, it's a very different setup from the GA hall because all the chairs are like facing each other and the room is so small, we all can look into each other's eyes and have a real debate. Working bilaterally, you have only one counterpart, and then working multilaterally, you have multiple counterparts. And it doesn't mean that one is more difficult than the other. But what makes a multilateral negotiation more complicated is that finding the intersection point of all the different sets of interests is just a longer and oftentimes more difficult process.
Does it get heated sometimes?
Yeah, of course. The people when get angry here. People got cry in the room before. Because people are sleep deprived and they're upset and they've been working for 96 hours straight. There have been times when I've had to apologize. You have to be humble. You got to apologize to people when you said something wrong in the heat of the moment. And I've definitely done that. I've definitely apologized to people and say, hey, I didn't mean that because I was just so sleep deprived and irritated at the way the negotiations were going. I snapped at you and I'm sorry. And I have said that to people. And you should, because you want to preserve those relationships.
MFA runs social programs for participants that when they come to Singapore so that they can get a bit of a cultural experience.
One of the more exciting part would be the kueh tasting. They might have never tried traditional kuehs before, so I think this experience might be a bit different. Oh yes, they're actually throwing the coconut. The coconut is supposed to represent their immense ego.
Okay.
So when they throw and it cracks, it's to break the ego. I think it's great. I think the participants really enjoyed themselves. It's very nice to see the difference or the contrast from day 1 to day 3. They're a bit more friendly, which is very warm to see them conversing with each other. Yeah, go still need to clear email.
People are asking me, what is it that keeps you in MFA? Why didn't you try something else? I think the job is so interesting. And there's nothing like a repetition, from day to day. Every day brings a surprise, every day brings something new. So I stayed on, I've joined it, and I think no other job can you follow world developments and global developments and meet so many interesting people, in the course of your career.
Did you read the op-ed yesterday in Straits Times, like Raja Mohan? No.
I was never an intern here at MFA, so I didn't do this dialogue session, but seeing how he called out people individually and asking them a question about something that just happened like yesterday, and the fact that he pulled out the Straits Times article and he was like, oh, can you pass this to him, let him read this now, and then okay, so share your views on it now. It makes me feel like you need to be prepared at all times, so you cannot ever attend something without being prepared for the questions that might be posed. I don't think you should ever have that mindset that you can go in and, I'll just fluff my way through it, or I don't need to prepare, I'll just make something up kind of thing, because people here see through it. After a few days of seeing them do the stuff that they do, you realize that, okay, this is what we should be doing. We all should be having such level of professionalism. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't start here in HQ, when you go overseas and you are there representing Singapore and you don't have this level of professionalism, then it's a disaster.
Hi G. Good morning. After you. Metiku. G, results day.
क्या सोचती हैं कि रिजल्ट 42 out of 50.
Oh my god, wait, really? Really? Okay. Yay! Shukriya.
So keep on learning. आप सीखती रहिए. ठीक है? और
thanks G. रोना नहीं है.
What is our fun shot?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, smile.
Okay, yeah, I passed. So this is my certificate. The first 2 weeks, I think I still remember memorizing or the teacher introducing the names of fruits, vegetables, spices. Fast forward, I can read the newspaper articles, headlines. So I think I feel a certain sense of achievement. This is just the tip of the iceberg, I feel. It's definitely given me some sense of confidence that I can speak some basic Hindi, especially with vendors, drivers, even just as simple as ordering food outside. Pani puri में क्या है?
पानी है तीखा वाला और नींबू सॉस.
I will not have to struggle. I can get groceries by myself. I don't need a translator or someone next to me. All MFA officers, we face steep learning curve in day-to-day life when we first joined or our first posting, even language immersion, I think it's a steep learning curve for everybody. So I think 3 years in HQ, they have trained me adequately to be resilient, to take up whatever challenges or obstacles that's going to come.
Thank you. No worries. Thank you. Hope you guys had fun. So I feel proud and grateful. Being part of this means that I get to connect with people, I get to facilitate learning, and knowing that our work actually helps others develop and strengthen international friendships. It's incredibly rewarding, and it's a reminder that even small efforts can make a big impact. While I may not see what they take back to their own countries, but we are contributing to their country one way or another.
It is a privilege to be part of this tradition of Singaporean diplomats at the UN, and recognizing that you are responsible also for upholding that perception of Singapore as like a constructive and principled delegation. Partly the way that you are perceived is not your own doing. It's like the work of your forebears and like, you know, your predecessors. It's a good feeling because you automatically get some degree of credibility just saying you're from Singapore. You don't even people don't even know you. Like people automatically assume that you are of a certain caliber, I suppose. So you make sure that you do your homework, you represent Singapore well.
您看一眼，这是不是就是这个走失人他手里拿的那个？让他家属确认一下。在派出所呢，这个东西我们到时候先保存着，到时候一并归还。然后我们先找人。
Credit to the police, the last text message was 3 words, 找到了. And then the 3 words are just like, oh my god. Those were the 3 words that I really needed at a point in time.
Were you surprised that he made it so far?
To be very honest, I'm very surprised that he made it so far. Despite not having been in Beijing before, he had managed to navigate, managed to get on a shared bike, managed to find his way around stations, and managed to be in a place that I think I've never even been before. His entire adventure in Beijing spanned 3 different districts. Pretty amazing, and I was very thankful that nothing happened. So I was quite surprised. I was very touched to get a letter of appreciation from them. It is a recognition that we are doing the right thing. This aspect of our work, helping Singaporeans in distress, is one of the most important, if not also the most meaningful part of our work in MFA.
Every case we take seriously. Every action, no matter how small, I feel it makes a big difference. Just by knowing that someone is concerned about them, is trying to help them, it's all that matters. Sometimes all it takes for them to feel better is a calm, steady voice at the other end of the line. Just listening to them, giving them solutions. I mean, there are calls where I take where literally the first thing that they say is not hello. I can hear them breathe a sigh of relief. Not every agency is 24/7, so it comes to us who are like, oh, thank God, you know, a Singaporean can understand me.
After that last car left the building, what were your first thoughts to your mind?
I think a lot of satisfaction with it's over. And I think you start thinking about all the time, and then it's that point is when it ended. You have a sense of relief, a bit of happiness that overall the flow actually went smoothly. There was good feedback and it went well.
How do you guys feel now that this is over?
Great. I mean, we just need to clear everything and then we can have lunch. It's lunchtime!
MFA's importance has definitely grown over the years. In this complex, complicated and interdependent world, I think Singapore should always speak up on issues that are important to us and state our position very clearly. And I think over time, many people have come to appreciate what we stand for. There's a lot more hard work that goes on behind the scenes to allow you to get the outcomes you want. And that requires a whole lot of players putting their heads together. It could be a big thing like a visit, It could be something small. In all these cases, you find that MFA is involved, some way or the other. They just do their job. They don't expect to be praised for it. They get praised, good for them, but they continue doing the job the next day. And I think credit goes to, the ethos of MFA.